Today our topic is achieving your goal in trading and also in life. And so prepare to transform your consciousness in this session today. Now, if you're coming in today and you're not prepared to transform your consciousness, then you might want to exit the meeting because we're going to see some change today. So be ready for that. And so that being said, I would like to ask your permission today in this session to speak with your unconscious mind, if I have your permission to speak with your unconscious mind, and that your conscious mind would be completely aware of everything that it is that we're doing today. And so if I have your permission to do that, then we'll go ahead on with our meeting. Now, just so you guys know, you'll want to stay focused on what we're doing today, and you'll want to listen to the sound of my voice and the presentation. And for that reason, I've turned the chat off. And so just enjoy the presentation and stay focused, no multitasking. Now, this presentation today is available to you because you're a room member of the Oil Trading Room. And as I promised in the past, I would have this event today. And so I'm very, very happy that we've come to this time and this place right now, this minute, to enjoy some learnings together. And so consider what we're doing today as part of your membership. And I put this together for you as part of your membership and to help you to become the very, very best that you can be. So, what you want. So, who wants to eliminate stress from their trading and be more in the moment in the process? How about if your learnings today spill over into your whole life, relationships and happiness and beyond just trading? And how about if you can do what you want easily and effortlessly? In the ancient times, wise people of the tribes and in Hawaii in particular that I know, when there would be disputes among the chiefs of each of the islands, they wouldn't get together and talk about it. The way that they would resolve their differences and come into communion with one another was through breathing together. And so I'm going to share with you called a Huna breath. And a Huna breath is a count of 2 in through your nose and double that out through your mouth. So and so you can breathe with me on that, and the way that you make that sound is by lightly constricting the back of your throat. And let's all breathe together for a minute and bring everybody together. Thanks for joining in with me on that. The chiefs would sit together on the shore side, looking out at the ocean and the beautiful paradise that they live in when they had a dispute, and they would breathe together like that, sometimes for upwards of 6 hours. And at the end of that time, there would never be a dispute amongst them. All the dispute of the tribes would be resolved, and they would have a luau. They'd celebrate the communion, again, of the tribes and the agreement and the safety and peace of their people. And so it's a beautiful thing. It's also an excellent technique to use before you're trading, to center yourself. But in particular, by using that technique of breath that I just showed you. And if you do that for a little bit longer, you'll be very settled and in a peaceful state and ready to take on your day. If I have your permission, I'd like to tell you guys a story. Before we go on to, we're going to do some things with keys to an achievable outcome. We're going to learn how to do that. And we're also going to learn how to clear anxiety from your life and bring you into the present moment. And so I'm going to share a story with you. And so close your eyes as you find your mind transforming. As we enter into the realm of wisdom, freedom, and purpose. Long, long ago, in a place not so far from here, there was a great warrior Indian chief named Trader Redtail. Trader Redtail had endured many battles in his day, so many that even he himself, or even the wise council of elders, could not recall them all. Many battles had been won, and many also lost, but the tribe remained safe and prosperous in the big picture. And Trader Redtail felt a yearning from within, a yearning to find the learnings of his younger days and years and ways that he might pass that wisdom on to his people for the betterment, peace, and prosperity of the tribe and future generations. So he called forth the wise medicine man of the tribe, adorned in feathers and bear skins. The medicine man abided in Trader Redtail's request to summon forth the memories of the battles of the past and that had come before, so the learnings could be brought to the foreground of memory and imagination. As each memories came, each one, each battle came forth to Trader Redtail, as it were, the very chiefs he had battled, each face and the presence and essence of each of the warriors he had experienced on the battlefield presented themselves to him, and they entered onto the stage of Trader Redtail's mind. At once then came a line of adversarial warriors of days gone, a long, long line. At first it seemed only one appeared, then two, then three, four, six, seven, and the memories began to bubble forth, each and every one of them, of Trader Redtail's battles. As each came forth and entered onto the stage of his mind, he reached out and greeted the memory, presence, and essence, shook its hand, and sent thanks to each spirit as it, that's right, 39, 40, 41 more arrived, and with each new spirit of the battles of the past came learnings of the battles, and Trader Redtail thought to not just greet each spirit, but to thank it for the learnings that came of the battle. And it's good to learn and learn the learnings. 61, 62, 65 more came, and they kept coming, 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 as Trader Redtail realized that in thanking each of the adversarial warriors, he felt a deep sense of release, freedom from each of those parts that linger within, while retaining the learnings to learn. It's good. That's right. And Trader Redtail realized each of those adversarial warriors had actually been a big part of making him a wise man that he had become. And with each learning, with each presence, and with each essence, he became even wiser, wiser, wiser. 74, 75, 76, 79, more, more, more. And they kept coming, and the learnings stacked deeper, 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 all the way down. And as the last of the great adversarial warriors came into the stage of Trader Redtail's mind, and the learnings stacked deeper, 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 in one deep breath. He retained every bit of learning that was important for him and his people to retain. That's right. And in one big breath, he forgave and released them all from the stage of his mind. And in that instant, they all forgave and released also in that moment of release. Disappeared. And Trader Redtail was freed from the burdens of carrying the battles of his past and to use the learnings in new and creative ways and to achieve greatness in himself and his people. As soon as that realization came to him and the freedom that came within, he began to come back into the awareness of the here and now, into this moment with full resources to achieve the dreams he dreamed and to build the realities he had to realize. And as he did, and he opened his eyes fully to see the world in a new, fresh, and meaningful way. A transformation had manifested, not just in Trader Redtail, but in all the people of the tribe. You see, when they looked upon him from this moment forward, they saw him in a new way, reflective of the new depth of wisdom he had achieved, freeing him to be the truly great leader he really is, soaring to great new heights. And Trader Redtail became now, in this instant, the greatest trader the tribe had ever known. Do you smell popcorn? Welcome back, guys. That is the tale of Trader Redtail. So let's talk about keys to an achievable outcome. How to do it. I'd like to thank many room members in recent days for sending in keys to an achievable outcome. And for those that need help with that, I wanted to go over how to do the keys in the most effective way. And so give me a minute. I'm going to go over to the blog and grab that. Keys to an achievable outcome. And you might want to look at that also. As I reviewed many of these from many members, what I saw was a lot of content there that you may omit. And so I'll go over in detail what that might look like to you and for you. But step number one to keys to an achievable outcome is, what do you want? Stated in purely positive terms and future-oriented. Well, for us as traders, that's easy. There's one thing that you want. You want to be a profitable trader. But you don't state it that way. You state it, I am. Now, if we were together in a room, I would show you what happens when you try. And so I'm going to talk about that for a second. If you ask your unconscious mind, and there are different ways you can do that, and I'm not covering that right here today, but if you ask your unconscious mind, can you try to make me a profitable trader? The unconscious mind will probably reply to you and say, yes. It'll say yes. It can try. And to just about any question that you ask the unconscious mind, if it can try to, it will answer yes, and you won't get what you want because you asked it if it can try. And so when you communicate with the unconscious mind, you have to be very specific about what you want because it's very, very literal. The other thing that the unconscious mind is, it's about the age of a 5-year-old. Okay? And so when you're communicating with the unconscious mind about what you want, you have to communicate it with it very directly. Okay? And so you tell it what you want. Now, the unconscious mind is responsible for all kinds of awesome things that affect your life. A lot of people treat their unconscious mind like it's some kind of dog they don't like. What do I mean by that? Well, the unconscious mind breathes your body while you're sleeping. It beats your heart. It heals your wounds. It grows your hair, your nails. It gives you spontaneous ideas about how to solve problems. And it's also a big, big player in creating your future. And so if you have a good relationship with your unconscious mind, that you communicate with it and that you trust it when it bubbles up knowledge for you, life can be really, really nice. And so if you read The Wisdom of the Ages, or things like The Secret or any of these kinds of things, that intention that you're projecting is onto your unconscious mind. And then it will bring together resources. So why does it work this way? Well, your unconscious mind holds all your memories. Just like it held all of Trader Redtail's memories of the past. It also holds all the learnings associated with that past. And so when you do keys to an achievable outcome, you want to speak in very direct terms and let your unconscious mind do its job to provide you with the resources that you need in order to accomplish your goal. And it will literally do for you anything that you ask of it. And if you have that in alignment with your higher purpose, if you believe in higher purpose, if you don't, disregard that comment, then you'll have an alignment there too. It becomes a bit of a spiritual issue, right? So what do you want? I am a profitable trader. So for the purpose of trading, that is the outcome that you want. I am a profitable trader. So where are you now? And it says there, be honest with yourself in positive terms. Where are you now? Now, it may actually, when that comes out of your mind, your unconscious mind's going to deliver that to you, right? Where are you now? Okay, well, I'm this, thus, and so. You then have to figure out a way to state that in positive terms. So that's a dose of reality. So you know where just like you're navigating a ship or you're getting in your car to go to the market. You know exactly where the market is, and you know where you are now, and you know which roads to take to get there. And you'll achieve your journey every time, right? 99.99% probability you're going to make it to the store when you leave your house. You know you're at your house, you know where the store is, and you take the roads there, right? And state that in positive terms, okay? What will you see, hear, feel when you have it? Okay? Now I'm saying create this internal experience in your mind in a very compelling way and put it in your future and experience yourself being that. When I read the Keys to an Achievable Outcome of traders who I know for a fact are being highly successful in the room, they're literally stating their future in this. They're literally stating what their future is. Now, the reason that I've put this in sensory language is what will you see, hear, and feel when you have it? That you can actually magnify each of those experiences. Now, you may have that as an image that you see. It may be something that you hear internally to yourself. It may be something that you just feel in your bones, right? Or it could be any combination of those three, right? The more vivid and compelling you make that internally, the more likely it is to become your future. Okay? So you don't have to put any superfluous stuff in there. The simplest one of all would simply be that I can see my account statement on October 31st, and in that little section down at the bottom, it says that I'm up N or X thousands of dollars, right? Now you could also project out one link further, and you could say, well, not just for October, but you can project out the next month. You don't have to, but you can. And you can project out for the year. Some room members tell me how much they're going to make in a year. They know that. And there's not a day that goes by that they don't focus on that projection, on that future, right? Now we're going to talk about a timeline in a few minutes, and I'm going to share with you how to elicit your timeline. And I'm probably getting off my slides here a little bit, but the next one is, how will you know when you have it? What's that evidence? Well, that's that. I kind of jumped ahead on that. That's the statement. There's nothing else to put in there except for dollars. I mean, we're traders, right? Either you made money or you lost money. That's easy. It's not some complicated thing. Okay? And what will it get you, and what will it allow you to do? Well, if you really want to achieve your goal and you know what it's going to do for you, then and you're motivated to that end, nothing's going to stop you. You're a living freight train by the time you get to step 5. Okay? What will it get you? It'll get me personal freedom. I'll be able to come and go as I please. Nobody will tell me what to do. And I will become a cause of my own life. I won't be an effect. I will be a cause unto myself. And you could even take it to another level. You'll become a law unto yourself. When you're a law unto yourself, the whole world revolves around you, your world. Everybody lives in a different reality. And so, if I were to read what Kim posted, beautiful. Let me read what he said. It's beautiful. He just posted it here when we started this session. Live life on your terms. You have the ability to do that. Get still, regardless of what you're facing. Be that finances, employment, challenges with your family, relationships, get still. This is no time to give in to stress, pressures that are upon you, your fears, or your circumstances. Look in the mirror and remind yourself that you are God's miracle child. Stand tall within yourself and resolve. Where there's a will, there's a way. I'm bigger than this. Say to yourself, it's not over until I win, until I get what I want. Okay? All right? Number 6 says, is it just for you? Now, trading's hard work. You're not trading for your wife or your children or anybody else. You're trading for you. It has to be for you. Now, there may be beneficiaries, but the process itself of trading is just for you. So for traders, number 6, piece of cake. It's just for you. Because your spouse or your family or significant other, your kids, they can't be the law that you are unto yourself. They cannot be the cause of your reality. Only you are the cause of your reality. In so doing, you become 100% responsible for your outcome. And that is empowering. It's very empowering. Okay? Number 7 says where, when, how, and with whom you want it. Be very specific. So, what did I say a minute ago? On October 31st, on that statement that's going to come through the email at about 5 p.m. or something, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to look at it. And it's going to say, I made 10 grand this month. You could even take a big $10,000 October 31st and tape it to the ceiling in your bedroom, so you got to lay there and look at it on the ceiling when you go to bed at night. Or you can put that in your future. Like I said, we're going to elicit a timeline in a minute. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Okay? So you're putting $10,000 on October 31st in your future. And when you have that image of $10,000, you know what I want you to do? I want you to look at that image, and I want you to make it bright. I want you to make it so it's calling out to you. $10,000. And I want you to feel it in your bones till it makes you shudder. And then I want you to breathe 4 powerful breaths into it. 4 of those bad boys right into it. Put your life force right into it. And put that 10,000, or maybe it's 100,000. But it should be reasonable for where you are now. I know there's people in the room that it's a lot more than $10,000, right? But don't try and put yourself there right now if it's not appropriate for you. It has to be within your belief. If it's not within your belief, don't go there. Make it a reasonable goal. And then as you become progressively more empowered, October 31st, November 30th, December 31st, you become progressively more empowered as your belief system comes into alignment with the power that you have within to be your own cause. Okay? And number 8, resources needed. Have you ever done this before? Well, maybe you haven't, or maybe you have. Have you ever done it in some other way? Have you ever made $10,000 in a month all on your own? Well, if you haven't, do you know someone else who has? Well, you certainly do if you're in this room. Okay? So use that resource. We have a wonderful trading room here filled with people who help others. Can you act as if you are already there? number C. Every one of you can do that. Active imagination. Okay? So that's keys to an achievable outcome. So you write that in the form that we just discussed, and you make that your reality, and you breathe into it the essence of your life energy, and put that out on October 31st. Okay? That's your reality, and you are the cause of it, and nothing can stop you. I have absolute faith that every single person in this room can be profitable every single month by using the keys to an achievable outcome here. Okay? Everybody. All right, let's take a look at the next slide here that I've prepared for you. Okay, we talked about communicating with your personal 5-year-old, aka your unconscious mind. By the way, the unconscious mind likes to have fun. And when you're achieving your goal, life gets real fun. People might even come up to you and say, I really like it when you're fun. Because you're having fun. Okay? Now I have down there another little note that says try, am, but, and because. We already talked about try and am. Don't say, can I? I'm hoping that I might be able to. I mean, just by chance, I'm hoping that I might be positive by $1 on October 31st. Oh my goodness, cancel that out, disregard it, it doesn't apply to you. I didn't say that. Flip your hands back and forth and cancel that image. Okay? There's no trying. There is only I am. Okay? Now, but and because. If I'm reading the keys to achievable outcome and I see the word but's always an excuse. Remove it from your vocabulary. Put in a little program up in your brain there that says anytime the word but comes out of my mouth, that means I'm not taking responsibility for myself as a cause of my own reality. If that word's coming out of your mouth, something's wrong. Okay? And because of rationalization. Don't you love it when you say something to somebody, you go, well, you know, we really want to do this, and we're looking at getting this done. And they'll go, yeah, I completely agree with you, but, and what do you know is coming? Completely disregarding everything you just said, right? But don't do that. Don't do that. You know, or, you know, you say, well, yeah, we're thinking of doing this. Yeah, you know, I really took a look at what you're doing, and, you know, I don't want to do that. That's because I blah, 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 blah. Right? It's an excuse. It's something like, well, I don't really want to, you know. You ask somebody to do something for you. Well, I'll try. That means I'm not going to, right? So get those words out of your vocabulary. You take those 3 words, try, but, and because, and just make them disappear from your vocabulary. Replace it with I am. Right? It's beautiful. Be specific. And above all, have fun. All right? Now, number 9 on the keys to an achievable outcome, don't worry about that. Okay? Don't worry about that right now. Because what we're doing is clear enough for what we need to accomplish here. And so I had each of these listed on here. And so if you happen to be viewing this on a recording, you can copy that down or screenshot it or whatever, pause the recording. But we just went through each of these keys to an achievable outcome. Okay? Now, anxiety. Let's move on to that. Anxiety is a message from your unconscious mind to focus on what you want. Let's think about that for a minute. It's a message from your unconscious mind. What's the prime directive of the unconscious mind? Is to take care of your body. Make sure you're healthy. Beats your heart. Grows your hair. Gives you a little bit of fear when there's a lion chasing you so you can get on out of there, right? So the unconscious mind sends you messages. If you ignore the messages It'll deliver you something real sweet like a migraine headache. Disregard that if it doesn't apply to you. In fact, just disregard that altogether. But the unconscious mind will tell you if you're not acting right. It's time to take a break. Be nice to me. Let's have fun. But be nice to that 5-year-old. Doesn't take much to make a kid happy. That's profound words of wisdom from Uncle Rob over here. Doesn't take much to make a kid happy. Okay? And so thank your unconscious mind for delivering those messages to you. So when you experience anxiety, you go, oh my goodness, this is anxiety. That's really uncomfortable. Thank you, unconscious mind, for letting me know that I'm experiencing anxiety and that I have an issue that I need to deal with right here. Okay? Imagination is the gateway to empowerment and to your future. You know who said that? Richard Branson. Imagination. They asked him, hey, what's the key to your being a billionaire and everything that you've ever done? The guy's done 1,000 things in his life. It's just playing. It's just having fun. Oh, yeah, another billion made over here. It's just having fun. Right? And they kept asking him all these questions. Oh, how did you, what is it that drives, how you've been so successful in business and all this stuff. Nobody asked him the right question. He said, imagination. I imagine things and I bring them into fruition. I bring them into reality. Breathe my life force into them. Right? Imagination is the gateway to empowerment and to your future. All right? It's a beautiful thing. So be thankful to your imagination and to your unconscious mind for being there for you. Okay? So clearing future stress. Anxiety is a future emotion. What did we just say a second ago? Anxiety is a message from your unconscious mind to focus on what you want. Much of trading successfully has to do with the future and managing an uncertain future. That's what trading is, right? So you embrace that reality. All right. That can create a state of anxiety. All right. We're going to talk about clearing that in a minute. Anxiety is a future emotion that can never help you to perform optimally. It can never help you to be better. You perform optimally in a natural, calm, aware, and awake state where you can do things easily and effortlessly. That's your best state. Anxiety will take you so far away from that you won't be able to function well, and so it's something well worth taking the time to learn to clear, which we'll do in a minute. It ensures you're not in the moment if it's active, right? So if you are imagining an uncertain future, then you are not focusing on what you want. Focus on what you want. If you focus on what you want, and you put 4 deep breaths into it and project it on out into your future, what do you think is going to happen? You will have replaced the void. Anxiety is a void. That's why it's unknown. And so when you breathe a reality into your future, anxiety can't exist in that space. Can't exist in that space. It's just like darkness can't exist when you turn a light on. Right? So a certain future is like the light, and anxiety is like dark, right? That's kind of cool. Okay. So if you're not focusing on what you want, then it'll be filled in with what you do not. It'll be filled in. It's a void, right? So you fill the space of what you do not want with what you do want. In order to do this, we can clear anxiety and replace it with a known future, what you want. This takes so little time to do. It'll be done. I mean, I can't even put on any music to do it, Anyways, Trader Redtail got all the music today, right? It's fun. All right. So I'm going to teach you how to elicit your timeline. Okay. We're going to determine how your timeline is. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind, and I mean your unconscious mind, and trust yourself as I ask you this, to deliver to you the information that you need easily and effortlessly, where your past is and where your future is, I have an idea that you might say it's from right to left or front to back or maybe up or down or in some direction from you in relation to your body. And it's not your conscious concept that I'm interested in, it's your unconscious. So if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where's your past? To what direction would you point? Go ahead and point. No hesitation, just whatever feels right. Okay? All right. Got that? And your future. What direction would you point if I were to ask your unconscious mind, where's your future? No hesitation. Just point in that direction, whatever feels right to you. Okay? Now, if you struggle with that a little bit, one thing that you can do to get a better handle on it, a lot of people can get that, but I'll ask you, can you remember something that happened a week ago? Close your eyes. Can you remember something that happened a week ago? Where does it feel like that memory is? Okay? Okay? Can you notice where that comes from? All right? And then you can also do that. We did it a few minutes ago. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, a year, 5 years. Look back into the past. All right? Now you can do the same for the future. Look out. Well, what can I see out in the future? Well, I can see October 31st. Close your eyes and ask yourself, where does it feel like October 31st is? Okay? Might have a feeling it's out in front of you or to the left. Wherever. There's no right or wrong. Just wherever you sense that is. And that's your timeline today. The timeline can shift, by the way. But if you're aware of where you feel these things in relation to your body, it kind of opens up a modality to you. That's a nice resource to have. Yeah, I feel my future's in front of me. I might feel my future's off to the right. Okay? There's no right or wrong. So, if you would now bring to mind the direction that you pointed to, and you'll notice that they imply a line. Maybe one's in front, one's in back, one's to the left, one's to the right. Okay? Now, it's possible that your past is arranged by location, like where you lived. Okay? So, if that's the case, that's also just fine. It's correct. But ask yourself, how would it look if for the purpose of this process it was stretched out on a line? And ask yourself that. Okay? So, with your eyes closed or open, when I say line, I don't necessarily mean to imply only visual, because in a moment I'm going to ask you to go up and float above your timeline. Okay? And by float, I also mean as sounds floating on the wind, or floating in the bathtub, or visually. However you decide to float up above your timeline is absolutely perfect for you. Okay? So, you can just float up above your timeline. All right? Make sure you're looking through your own eyes. You might close your eyes or have them open. Just float up above your timeline now. And remaining above your timeline, just float back into the past. Back into your past. Good. That's right. Now float back towards now. And stop right over now. Are you there? That's good. That's good. Now, facing towards the future, float up higher and farther back into the past. Higher, farther, back into the past. And now float out into your future. Way out into your future. Okay, now float up higher. Float up so high that your timeline seems like it's 1 inch long. Good. Now float back to now. And float down into now and come back into the room. Okay? All right. Now, you have a sense of where your timeline is. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how to clear anxiety out. Now, why do I bring up anxiety as one of the first things that we want to look at here? Well, because a lot of people in the room, and a lot of traders in general, when they click the button, it just like sends the fear into them. Okay? It's really important that you're in the moment so you can get caught in big trades. You start getting caught in big trades, you get a taste of that. It will empower you quickly to be that cause that you truly are. All right? And so however your timeline oriented itself, you imagine an event in the future that you're having anxiety about. Okay? So, the question is, what are you anxious about? Now, we're probably not going to do this right now because you're probably not in a trade right now. All right? But if you are, you can follow along this way. So the question is, what are you anxious about? What specifically are you anxious about? I'm anxious when I put on a trade. All right? And so, perfect. What I want you to do when that happens to you is I want you to float up above your timeline. You know where it is. That's right. I want you to float out above the future to 15 minutes after the successful completion of the event. It's a successful trade. Okay, if you're doing that right now, I want you to turn around and look towards now along the timeline. You're out in the future, 15 minutes the other side of the event of a successful trade. And I want you to look back towards now, just like on the slide there, through the event and back towards now. And I want you to ask yourself, where's the anxiety? It doesn't exist out there, right? All right. And then just come back to now. Now, if you have little panic attacks when you get into a trade, you use this technique. Load up on your timeline, go out into the future, 15 minutes, or even 5 minutes is fine, past the successful completion of your trade. Look back through the event to now and ask yourself, where's the anxiety? And you will find that it has disappeared. And you return back to now and you be in the moment. Retaining the learnings from doing that and knowing that there's a successful trade that you just put on your timeline in the future, the one you're in right now. Got it? All right. That's right. So that's how you clear anxiety. All right? If you need some help with that in the room, we'll go through it. Okay? If it's happening to you, Just reach out and just private message me or whatever, and I'll go over it in the morning in the rooms, okay? Don't let a little thing like a panic attack keep you from being the great trader that you are. All right? Now, the resources that I bring to the table for learnings and advanced learnings go way beyond just clearing anxiety. And if you want to go there and really transform yourself or your company in any capacity, I can help you with that through a personal breakthrough session. And in a session like that, we'll establish and create your desired outcomes, whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life. We'll make sure it's consistent with your beliefs, because if it's not consistent with your beliefs, it's not going to work too well. We'll clear all major negative emotions. We'll just make them disappear. You function optimally, easily, and effortlessly in everything you do. You be in the moment, okay? We'll create and build a powerful resource anchor so that anytime you come under stress, you have that resource. Okay? We already have one such example of that on the blog, The Circle of Power. If you have not done The Circle of Power, I strongly recommend you do. Powerful resource anchor. Okay? Integrate internal parts of you that may be in conflict. You ever have one of those things where you're like, yeah, I really want to do this, but just something keeps sabotaging my effort? And clear those things out. Goes into that goal. You're not burning resources on things that don't matter anymore. Nobody's changing the past for you. So I want to be walking around with sadness from something that happened 27 years ago, right? So you can be in the moment. Create and define your future. And my work's guaranteed. So if you want to do a personal breakthrough session, you can reach out to me on that. Okay? Runs about 4 hours to do that. And in a session like that, I'll help you to attain a higher level of excellence in trading and also in life. And it's done while retaining all the same benefits, skills, and empowerment you currently enjoy. You don't lose anything. You just come into your own personal power. Many of the principles that I use also help people to experience substantial income growth. I personally tripled my income when I did this. I was so moved by it that I've made it my mission to help others with the same. I tripled my income in a period of about 3 weeks through this process. Better relationships, more rewarding life in a short period of time. All right? And so I call that a personal breakthrough session. All right? I'm a certified neuro-linguistic programmer. I'm a certified NLP coach, hypnotherapist, and timeline therapist. We just did a little fun on the timeline, right? Trader Redtail did a little work on the timeline too, didn't he? That was kind of fun. I'm a board-certified member of the American Board of Hypnotherapy, Timeline Therapy Association, the American Board of Neurolinguistic Programming as both a coach and an NLP practitioner. I've met the highest level of educational standards to have those positions. Okay? So if a personal breakthrough session is of interest to you, take a minute and reach out to me. Just email me. My work's guaranteed. All right? I want to thank you. I am truly grateful for being able to share this work today. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. And if I can help you further, let me know. Support at oiltradingroom.com. And beyond that, I'll see you in the room in the morning. All right, guys? Thanks for coming in.